All right, so we have singara scenario this time. Docker and Kubernetes app not working. Let's give it a try. There is a K3s Kubernetes installed you can access with kubectl. The Kubernetes YAML file manifests under home admin have been applied. The objective is to access from the host the web app web server deployed and find what message it serves. It's the name of town. In order to pass the check, the web app Docker container should not be run separately outside Kubernetes as a shortcut. So there is probably Kubernetes cluster and there is a Docker container. So you can run the web app as a Docker container, but you should not do it in order to pass the checks, right? And you should use curl localhost 888 quarter 8 so that it returns a value from the web app deployed Kubernetes pod. Okay. So let's see what we have here. We have is there actually like any active containers? No. Are there any images we can look at? Yes. So there are some images here. Okay, let's first check out the actually no, I don't want to check the deployments yet. I want to see what we have. Okay, there is none. Let's look at deployment. So apparently there is nothing running, or it's saying, oh, they have been applied, so they are running somewhere. Okay. So here we have deployment and it is in namespace web. So if I want to see currently active resources, the web app deployment, I probably have to specify the namespace, right? So there is replica swan, metadata labels app web app. And whenever I see a deployment, I want to pay attention to container port. Remember the golden rule, container port has to match the service target port. Namespace, yeah, namespace is created as just web. And let's pay attention to, let's take a look at node port YAML. So yeah, we have target port quarter like 48 here, 888. And in our deployment, there is, I think, there is just container port 8880, which is a mismatch. So we have to fix it here because we will be curling the local host at 4.8, right? So this is the thing that we fixed, and if I want to actually see the running active pods, I have to specify -n web, the namespace name. So it's an image pull backup. Okay, let's see what we have here. Let's actually describe. Okay, so we have, so all of this is kind of like just a description, and here we have failed to pull image web app, RPC error code unknown destination, failed to pull and unpack image Docker IO. Failed to pull image web app unknown this, failed to pull and unpack, failed to pull and unpack image Docker IO, failed to resolve reference. So it's actually looking for an image somewhere, right? Pull access denied, repository does not exist. Yeah, so it needs a repository. But do I have any repositories running? I don't have any repositories running, and I don't have any repositories running inside Kubernetes, right? So I will have to, let me actually see all of the namespaces here. So we don't look at kube system, kube public, kube node list, as these are just the standard system level namespaces. They have the stuff running in there that's not our concern. Default is not what we want, so we only have web. So if I actually run get all, let me just double check. If I run get all -n web, I'm gonna see all of the resources deployed in the web namespace. So we have service web app, we have pod, and we have deployment and replica set. Replica set, deployment, and pod are basically the same thing. So this is how Kubernetes works. Kubernetes first creates a deployment. Inside deployment, it creates a replica set, and inside replica set, it spins up a pod. So we don't have a currently running active like Docker image, but like I've seen before, there is actually a registry here. This is an image for a registry that we can deploy. Okay, so probably the idea is that I have to pull up the deployment, right? I have to pull up the registry, and to this registry I think I will actually push the web app, the Docker container. And from this registry that I'm going to deploy, I'm going to run the deployed image. Hold on a second. There is, yeah, so this is where containers image. So this image web app is basically, it's by default, it's pulling from Docker login unless it's specified. So right now it's trying to get the image from official Docker registry, which I don't have access to. And this trick actually first creating a registry and then pushing to registry the image and then pulling the image inside Kubernetes. This trick I learned from this particular lab. I have never seen this before. Given all of my limited Kubernetes experience, this is a really nice trick. Like, I didn't believe this. I couldn't believe that it's possible to actually first. It's like bootstrapping yourself, right? You actually create the registry first. This registry becomes your local registry. Inside this registry, you push the image, and from that registry, you pull. The Kubernetes pulls that pushed image into a working active pod. I hope this is clear. Okay. So first I want to do is I want to actually we want to, like I said, we want to run in a detached mode, and I want to port forward it to 5000, and I want to create the, yeah, remember there was no sudo docker ps was giving me like just empty. So right now there should be one active Docker container, which is Docker registry itself. Keen Keldish. That's a cool name. Okay, now I want to push that web app image, but before I push, I want to tag it as localhost 5000 web app. Yeah, so I actually tagged the web app image. Yeah, so this was web app latest. Now it's the same image as web app, except that it's tagged as localhost website 5000 web app. This is what I'm going to be putting inside my pod or deployment YAML file as the image name, right? Where the Kubernetes will be pulling from. Okay, so now I want to actually push that. I actually want to push that image here. Now the thing is, we did this 5000 so that it actually knows where to push, right? So we did a port forwarding. We actually did a port forwarding here, right? We did port forwarding to create the registry, this registry, so that it's running here, so that whenever I actually push, it pushes to a local, and it knows that locally, basically we did a port forwarding to be able to push right into that registry. I hope this is clear to you. This is a trick that I learned from this lab, which is really nice. I didn't know that it's possible. Okay, so if I do sudo docker, yeah, basically if I go inside that running registry, I will probably be able to see that there is a web app pushed. Okay, so this worked. So there is a running, sorry, there is a local 5000 web app image pushed inside this registry. So now let's go to deployment and let's actually fix it here. Yeah, this should be localhost. So it knows from where to actually pull that image. And we probably want to, yeah, so I want to replace f-f deployment, and this is what I do. I use force. Okay, now, oh yeah, I forgot dash n web. Yeah, and there is one running, and if we do dash w, this one will probably be terminated. Yeah, this is terminating. So yeah, so there is one of the web app deployments is running. So now let's actually do the curl localhost 888 and connection refused. Why is it refused? Oh, because I did not do port forwarding, right? So I probably will have to do port forward deployments, or you can actually do like deploy web app deployment 888, and inside the web namespace, and we want to do and forwarding. So the deployment is running and it's actually listening here. So if I do localhost, yeah, handling connection, it's giving me this big ass long name, this L fair something something. Okay, let's see. Yeah, we got it working 10 minutes. Yeah, so the main trick here, that the trick that I really liked, is that you actually have to create the local registry, push to that local registry, and then pull from that local registry the image that you want.